Completing both stages of the final level of Expanse in under 7 minutes will gain you a lot of these keys, which will in turn get you a bunch of rewards in Destiny Rising after the latest update. So I'm going to break down my gameplay showing commentary of how we can get under 7 minutes on a run with Gwyn on the Echoes version of this final stage. If you'd like to see me cover the Eternity stage, then let me know in the comments. But for now, here's how to do every single level or stage up from 21 all of the way to 30 to make sure you get an under 7 minute run. There is a little bit of preparation required. It's highly recommended you hit the power cap for this, 67,800. Otherwise, you're just going to have a hard time. The enemies will be too powerful and it's unlikely you'll be able to reach the time limit. With the acclaim cap gone now, that is a lot easier to reach. So bear in mind that. When it comes to the talent tree, it's not required. However, I did get the second talent tree for Gwyn, which is a really big power boost. However, I try not to use the second cooldown. I try not to. I try to play it as if I didn't have any talents, but there are some cases where I kind of slip up and use it more times than I would have been able to without it. So bear in mind, this is going to help massively, but it's not necessary to reach the timer, and I do try my best not to use it. But like I say, mistakes happen. I do end up using this double charge occasionally, but without that, you could still do it so long as you have the right power rating. It should also be noted that the first few stages are pretty easy, and there's not necessarily like a very clear strategy. But as we go through to the later stages, there are some very clear strategies that you can follow that are going to massively increase your time. So nearer the end of this video is where you'll start to see some of that in play. With the starter stages, I kind of just run through it with a couple of tips here and there. Let's go. So obviously you're going to choose Shield Shockwave first. On this first stage, it's pretty straightforward. Just slide towards the enemies and then use your dash forwards and start shotgunning this first servitor. Once it's eliminated, use your spin attack to put it on the other servitor. And then it's pretty much just a cleanup job as quick as you can. Just use the shotgun. Don't waste time with the pistol. For the first few stages, you're going to have plentiful amounts of ammo. And then we move on to the next stage. For this next stage, I would recommend taking this ammo plunderer as soon as you can get it. But besides that, go for all of these shockwave abilities or anything that can increase damage. On this stage, slide to the left side and use your abilities on this first stack of enemies, and then move towards the right and pick up any stragglers, and they'll get the stage done as quick as possible. Shotgun always as we go through this. Once again, take anything that can increase your shield value or increase your damage as soon as you've got the ammo plunderer ability. In here, just dash forwards, shotgun, prioritize as always. When a player is low enough health, you're going to want to do the finisher on them though to save 1 bullet of shotgun. And then you can use your movement abilities to move up. In this first area, only use your shotgun. And we're going to be waiting for your ultimate to come in here. It should be ready for you to take down the 2 larger health targets in a second. So you're going to want to bridge this gap as quickly as you can and then use your ultimate here. Once these are eliminated, you're going to want to make your way up to the final stage. And you want to be out of your ultimate at this point because you're going to need to use the shotgun ammo on the Shinka. Break this first before you use your abilities to deal damage, because if the Shinka shield is up, there's a chance that the nearby enemies may be on the other side of the shield and take no damage. So now we've hit our first gold stage. This is basically a reset stage where you get all of your ammo back and your ultimate immediately. So as we move in here to the next stage, stage 24, you're going to want to be using your ultimate as soon as you can. This stage is a real pain. Once again, anything to improve the shield value or damage of the shield shockwave ability or any damage improvements. Yeah, this stage is a real problem. You're going to want to use your ability here and try to get these first 2 dregs. And as you move through the stage, always look behind you here to make sure that you don't accidentally miss any stragglers because it will completely ruin your stage. I do recommend using your ultimate here as soon as you possibly can though. There aren't many enemies on this stage, but you just want to clear it as quickly as possible, and you're going to want to get that ult on cooldown ready for the next stage as soon as you can. This is a pain stage, and you can really accidentally miss out on a couple enemies. So as you move through this level, always look behind you for any potential fallen dregs that may be hiding behind obstacles, and don't give them a chance to stay alive because it could ruin your run. Honestly, so far, this has not been difficult. These first few stages are very straightforward. Once again, always going for any shockwave. I would suggest going for the health shield, because later on you can actually double this up and increase the shield massively. This first stage, honestly, is just a case of using the shotgun to take down the servitor, and then it's a quick cleanup job with your abilities to take down the full few dregs. If you have your ultimate on this stage, for whatever reason, don't use it. But now, this is where things get interesting. This next stage is really quite the first difficult hurdle, and you're going to need to clear this as quickly as you can in the same way that I do. I managed to do this whilst underpowered, and this strategy works even if you're underpowered. So you're going to slide towards it, dash, then shotgun after you use your spin ability, do a finisher on this, and quickly spam the pickup button and throw it as you move to the left. Now hold this angle and start firing and building up stacks on your ability, and quickly do the finish on this target. Fly into the air into this middle stage and turn back as you do so to fly the orb into the objective. Now, once again, do this and then move to the right, and there'll be an enemy that spawns here. This is where things get a little bit tricky. Ideally, you're going to want to have your ultimate available here, because there are 2 enemies that will stack up. But if you don't have your ultimate yet, take down this brigand first and as quick as you can, and then throw the ball in, and then you're going to want to dash towards the other enemy and then activate your ultimate here. This brigand will always stay here, but the other enemy you need to kill is a melee-based enemy, and he will slowly make his way to you. It can be a little bit tricky with the timing here, and ultimately it would have been nice if we had the ultimate a little bit sooner, and we would have been able to save a bit of time here. You'll notice that I completely ignore the Shinka. You don't need to kill that. You do not need to kill the Shinka here, and it's going to save you a lot of time if you just completely ignore it. You can use line of sight blockers like this part here if you're a little bit lower power, if you're finding yourself taking too much damage, and this way you're going to essentially survive without taking too much damage from that Shinka. Moving on to stage 27. We've got a pretty easy stage, but this is where the shield siphon abilities are really going to start to power up as you get them into the next sort of tier. So this is why you always want to prioritize shield siphon abilities, shield shockwave abilities. This first stage is not really much of a big deal. You'll basically want to just put your shotgun on the 2 bruises here and do the finisher to save time. And hopefully your abilities will do AoE damage to clear out the dregs, but if not, there's just a little bit of time to finish them off. Now we move into stage 28, which is a very easy stage. Once again, taking anything related to shockwave spread or damage if there aren't any shockwave abilities. You don't need durability unless you're underpowered, and at that point, I don't really recommend it. First, just put your shotgun straight into the ontological bruiser, and once you've done that, it's another quick cleanup job. These stages aren't really that difficult. I must point out, though, as we go into this, the more you use your shotgun, the better. And that's why you really need ammo plunderer, because there are some Shinkas, impact Shinkas, where you're going to need ammo. For this stage, we just slide across and then activate our ult in this stage, which we're always going to have available because we have been saving it for the last 2 stages. And then we're going to just dash across. At this point, we might be able to get 1 ultimate attack in this bubble. That's going to save you a lot of time here. You really want to try and be able to get that 1 AoE blast. And there's the cleanup job. I use my pistol here because I want to make sure my ammo is full for this final part. This is really annoying, this part. You need to take the Shinka shield down first before you use your ultimate, any of your abilities, because if you don't, these 2 other Vandals that you do need to eliminate will be behind the Shinka shield bubble and take no damage. As you can see here, that Vandal would have not taken damage with my AoE attack if I had not broken the shield first. So prioritize taking down the shield and then spam your abilities with the stacks of the souls that you would have built up with the shotgun. As we go into this stage, there is a very clear strategy we need to follow. This will be the ultimate stage. So once again, we do get a refresh of abilities and ultimate as well. So bear that in mind. Now, honestly, this first stage basically follows a very similar pattern, so you're going to want to follow it to the T here. If you can get health shield next here, I would recommend that. The higher your health shield, the more AoE damage you're going to do with the shield shockwave ability. So just keep sliding this way, and as you're jumping towards, you can do a little bit of damage here, but it's not really a big deal. You're going to just basically want to put your ult straight on this, and if you've got enough power rating, you should be able to get the next stage of the boss to happen just as you run out of ult. Now, you want to move out to this point here. Make sure that you have your AoE spin attack available, and then just spam into these two knights. Being very careful not to use all of your shotgun ammo here, because you will need it for the next Shinker on the other side. You always want to go onto the left side here, because it's just that. It's a little bit easier. The right side can be a little bit difficult. Right, now, as we fly across here, make sure you reload your ammo here as you move across, and you have enough time for your abilities to reset if necessary. Now, you're going to take a lot of damage here, so it's very important you use the shotgun to basically just withstand the damage from these first few attacks. Once most of the mobs here are dead, it's not going to be an issue, and it's pretty much just, once again, a case of breaking down that shield first before you use your abilities, so you're doing damage on both enemies in the radius, and then it is a case of just taking down the knight. The next part here is very, very important. You're going to have another use of your ultimate here, but don't use it yet, because the knight, the boss here, will go into an immune state for a very short time as he moves into the center bubble. Now you want to activate your ultimate. Otherwise, you're going to do a bunch of ultimate damage, and it will be immune to it. And that is the run that you can follow to the T. A couple of tips. Always go for Ammo Plunderer. And if you're finding yourself not really able to withstand the damage, there's one ability that will allow you to basically gain shield as you shoot, and that will save you. Now, as you complete this, you'll also get the mysterious keys, which will then get you a lot of awesome rewards. As you can see on screen here, each mysterious key will give you a set of random artifact-based rewards, as well as the artifactual clusters, which are needed to upgrade your artifact gilding level. Don't spend it all on the same character, though. Be careful, because you're going to need to max 2 characters to get the gold coin to get past acclaim level 25. So be careful with how you spend it. This resource is extremely rare and valuable. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing for more, and let me know if you want to see for the other version of the Expanse, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio!